what you just told me, I don't matter. I don't matter.
Most judges would have poured you out a long time ago, sir. You ought to be thankful he's trying to be as fair as he is.
We slept together. That's about it. But we never together. We had intimate sessions with each other, but we never lived together.
Her putting her hands on me, her being volatile, I filed charges against her. I don't know why the police ain't pick it up, just like the same reason they ain't pick up stuff that she said I done. Why am I being so restricted?
The state would love a final order if Mr. Glass feels that would be appropriate, but I'll ultimately defer to him and defer to Mr. Glass as to all things possession, access, conservatorship. State's requesting, so Your Honor, you probably saw, it looks like we established the younger child in a previous setting. So I had emailed Ms. Molina the DNA report, but I'm not going to offer that into evidence today because we already dealt with it. But requesting that the court set up child support on the younger child. So would ask that go back to the month after she was born. She was born July of 2023. So would ask the new amount to begin August of 2023. My guideline calculation is $252. And then there's the issues of retroactive support and court costs. Defer to the court as far as court costs go. As far as the retroactive support, the parties are nowhere close. My understanding is the mom is of the opinion that they were done sometime in December of 2022, which would retro period would be I can't think, Your Honor. It'd be 2023. You know, Your Honor, I'm wrong all over the place. The court,
well, right there. You sound like you're only talking about 6 to 8 months.
Yeah,
so,
I'm all over the place. So the court actually set up child support beginning September of 2023. So I'd ask the court to increase that amount to $252. So the retro period, if the court uses the mom's retro period, would be for 2 months, and then it'd be the 220 number for the 52 by 2. I can have those numbers to the court in my closing, but that's where the mom is. The dad is of the opinion that they didn't actually separate until sometime after the child support order was entered. Anyway, so I'd ask the court to parse that out and make a ruling as to whether there will be retroactive support and what the time period will be, and I can have calculations based on if any time period the court wants to use, and that's what I have, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Glass.
Judge, I feel like I'm about to make one of those opening statements that by the end of the hearing is going to be something I hope you forget. Hopefully the parents are going to represent to the court today that they are able to co-parent and raise the children in a loving, caring manner. I'm not sure that that's going to be the case, and so I'm kind of gonna wait for them to make their cases to you. But as of right now, I don't, based on what I've had in the past conversations with mom and with dad, I'm gonna hope that we can keep a standard possession order and these two can work together to co-parent, fingers crossed.
All right.
Ms. Sims, let's talk about when you and Mr. Bullard separated. When did you and Mr. Bullard separate?
Me and Mr. Bullard separated. We have not lived together since 2021.
Okay. So my understanding though is was there some sort of effort to get back together sometime in there?
At the beginning of 2023, right before the youngest was born, we did attempt, but shortly, maybe we might have dealt with each other twice, and then right before baby, we did not deal with each other at all.
So was there some sort of a relationship between the two of y'all even after y'all were not living in the same residence?
Oh, we slept together. That's about it. But
okay.
We never together. We had intimate sessions with each other, but we never lived together.
So, and maybe I misunderstand. I told the court you heard just a minute ago that you're of the opinion that you and Mr. Bullard were effectively separated, or not effectively, you two were separated sometime in late 2022. Was I correct, or do I need to change that?
End of 2022 is when we effectively separated. It might have been twice, like at the beginning of 2023 that we had slept together, but we weren't together. So I don't know how y'all view that. I guess if I don't know if we're sleeping together, y'all take that as us still being together.
No,
I'm
ma'am,
not sure.
no, ma'am, we're looking for the dates that y'all are actually living together in the same household, ma'am. As full-time tenants.
Okay,
or
that would
owners.
be 2021. We have not lived together since 2021.
Do you remember when in 2021 you and Mr. Bullard stopped living in the same residence?
I moved out of that place, I want to say January. Was it January? It had to be the end of 2021. So right at the beginning of 2022, we were not. I moved into a whole nother place with just me and my children.
Okay, so all of 2022, you and Mr. Bullard were not living in the same place then?
Correct. In all of 2023, we were not at the same residence.
So let me give you some numbers. You tell me if these are acceptable or not. But I would request the court to, if the court uses your timeline to set Mr. Bullard's retroactive support based off minimum wage. So,
Okay.
And that's at the time in 2022, you had one with him, and then he had another child. So, $202 would be the monthly amount. Is that acceptable? That monthly amount?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it would be all of 2022, and then there would be 7 months in 2023. That'd be January through July, because as I understand it, Monty was born at the beginning of July 2023.
Correct.
Right. So I said 17 months. It'd be 19 months. So 19 months by 202 would be $3,838. But then also there'd need to be something for August of 2023. Adding the second child August of 2023, I would calculate the monthly amount at 260, 3,838 plus 260. I calculate $4,098, and that's before he gets any kind of credits. So first of all, is that number acceptable to you that I've thrown out there? And I can take you through my calculations again if you like. All right.
Whatever I can get at this point, I'm okay.
Okay, so let's talk about what type of help did Mr. Bullard provide during that time?
Of what, 2022?
2022, 2020, anytime before September of 2023.
Okay, I will say not much of anything. Every now and again, I would like ask him to contribute towards daycare. He would send like $50, and I pay $150 every week. But this is like maybe once in a month that he'll send $50. The biggest thing I've ever gotten from him.
All right, so he was helping out with daycare. So this was every month he was contributing $50 towards daycare?
No, not even every month. This is like every other month. I can't even, it's been not much, so I can't really calculate because it has never been consistent. So it'll be like every other month or every few months, I'll be like, hey, I just don't have it this week. I need you to send me $50, but I pay $150 every week. So, $50 here and there to go towards daycare is not really much.
Well, I understand that, but I'm not trying to shortchange him for whatever he does deserve credit on. So you're saying it was approximately $50 every other month, and that's all 2022 and 2023 until the child support started?
Yes.
All right, so 20 months, $50 every other month, that'd be $500.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So was there anything in addition to contributing for daycare?
No, he bought a pack of diapers maybe 3 times out of that year.
Okay.
Other than nothing.
All right. Did he ever put like gas in your tank? Did he ever pay a light bill? Did he ever pay a rent payment or a mortgage payment?
Gas in my one time. It was like $35, and I was taking him somewhere that day, and he's never paid a bill of mine. Never.
Okay. So did you understand that as like gas money or was that for the kids?
Just gas money. It was definitely not for the kids.
Okay. Okay. So 4,098 minus 500 would be 3,598. So that's the number that you'd be asking the court to use?
That's fine.
Okay. And you're asking the court not to give him credit for the 35 towards the gas, correct?
No. Yes,
okay.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I can't promise the court's going to do that, but
it's okay.
It's before the court. If the court uses those numbers, and I realize this is kind of painstaking, so I'll try to get done pretty quickly here. So 3,598 The interest on that's about $18 a month. So my request to the court would be that Mr. Bullard be ordered to repay $70 a month until that's paid off. Is that request acceptable to you? Assuming the court uses these numbers. That will be my request, assuming the court follows your $3,598 amount on the retro. If the court uses a different number, then my request on the repayment will be a different number. But I'm asking if that's you assuming.
It's acceptable just because I don't really have actual numbers, you know what I'm saying? So that's fine with me, you know.
Yes, ma'am. And I realize I'm asking you to take an educated guess here.
Yeah.
Okay. Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
All right, you back? Okay, I'm sorry. Your witness, Mr. Glass.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Sims. How are you? Or good afternoon, Ms. Sims. How are you?
And I'm okay.
Awesome. So you and I have spoken quite a bit over the past month or so, haven't we? And what is it? I know that there's some criminal charges going on. There's some things like that, some friction between you and Mr. Bullard. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay. But at the same time, there's also been some good things happen. I mean, you've invited him to a birthday party, right?
I've been trying, yes.
What is that? Are you okay with the way that possession and access and things like that, his connection to the kids?
I will say I am at the point now where I am striving for full custody just because Mr. Bullard has made it so hard to even co-parent with him. This is with him is nothing about our kids. He's very emotional and is dealing with other personal things that is standing in the way of him being involved with his kids and only concerned of his kids and taking care of them. I only want us to have something in place to where he can come and get his kids and then have something in place where he can support his kids, because when it comes to me, he refuses to help me with anything. Him and I cannot have a conversation without him reverting to something in the past or reverting to something that has absolutely nothing to do with the kids. He's more concerned with my personal life and who I'm dating and who's at my house. He's a lot of times.
Ma'am, slow down. You're getting way past the question. All right, I'll stop you now and let the ad litem ask you the next question. Thank you, ma'am. I get it. Got it. Thank you.
So, if you were to kind of basically, if I hear you correctly, what you're looking for is you want set periods of time for his visitation, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And he's violent, and he's also threatened my life as well on many occasions. So it's just it's either he's
ma'am, you've answered the question. Don't go into details. The question was you're asking for specific visitation as part of your court order, correct, ma'am?
Correct.
All right, thank you.
And you're looking for the child support to kind of be the same way, where there's set child support, right? And then just again, you and I have spoken about this on many occasions, haven't we? All right. Thank you. Pass the witness.
All right. Anything on redirect, Mr. Donner?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Sims, we'll be back in a moment. I'll let the state go ahead and call the next witness. Thank you.
Mr. Bullard, will you state your full name, please?
Yeah, say my full name.
Yes, sir, please.
Brandon Bullard.
Okay. So let's talk about the retroactive support. I take it you do not agree with Ms. Sims' dates?
Absolutely.
Okay. When did you and Ms. Sims separate?
My daughter, like I told you on the break room, my daughter was staying with her from August to November. You know what I mean? 2023. I was over the road from September all the way to December. Not December. Little after, before Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Because I went to Georgia and all that. Came back. They started back school. My daughter was living there, but I went in and out. You know what I mean? Because I said I was over the road. December come around, my daughter.
Can I jump in there real quick? Let me seek a little bit of clarification. So, by your daughter, are we talking about the two children before the court, or is this a child from a previous relationship?
This is nowhere to her child.
Okay, so she was keeping your child while you were doing long haul driving.
I want to talk about that as well.
Ma'am, you're not the witness. Don't interrupt.
So when did the daughter from a previous relationship? When did that daughter stop living with Miss Sims?
I could say around like February, maybe a beginning, because I had the birthday party. I had my daughter's birthday party over there, January 8th. 2024. So I would say probably she stopped living over there in February
Okay.
before
Again, sir.
Valentine's Day.
Sir, I'm not interested in where your child lived. I'm trying to figure out where. I need to get some specifics on where, when you were there, were you on the lease? What were we talking? Was there a house or? Stop. Listen to my question, sir. So again, I'm looking where you were and what your relationships to the residents was, because the mother said that the mother's testimony is that y'all stopped living together as a couple in 2022. And starting in 2023, she had a place that was separate and apart from you. And I need to know whether or not you were on any type of lease or a rental agreement or a purchase agreement with a residence starting in January of 2022.
Yes, sir. I was a personal agreement with her.
No, sir, that's not my question. Were you on the actual document that says you had a legal right in that residence, sir?
There.
I'm sorry?
No, sir. It was not on the actual lease stating that I live there.
Okay, thank you, sir. You may proceed.
Did you live Williams at all during the 2022, 2023? Despite not having a lease?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so approximately how many days in 2022 did you and Miss Sims stay under the same roof?
I got kicked out every other day, so I can't get no definite answer.
And the same for 2023?
Man, it's been like that since 2019.
Yes, sir. I'll pass a witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Glass, your witness.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Mr. Bullard. How are you?
I'm all right, but I could be better.
Yeah, I understand. You and I have spoken a lot over the past couple of months, haven't we?
Yes, sir.
And I apologize. I know you were trying to call me today. I wasn't able to answer. I'm sorry about that. You've sent me a number of messages. We've had quite a few communications about what you want out of this, haven't we?
Yes, sir.
Now, you heard Ms. Sims, what she's talking about. What kind of visitation do you want out of this? Is it okay with you if you have set times of visitation with the kids?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm fine with that. But I also want to state, too, though, that things are not going to appear to go the same way it is as said in court. Like, what I mean is in stating the time, the place, or being that nature. It's not going to be the same way it is as in the court, as it's supposed to be presided, along with that child support order that was for my first child. Like I stated to you, I shouldn't be able to excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't want to use that kind of language. I shouldn't be able to pick somebody off and tell me that I can't see my child. I shouldn't be able to be blocked, ignored, or any of that nature just because you have somebody.
Okay, Mr. Bullard, stop. You don't get a chance to make a speech. You're a witness. Listen to the question,
Right.
just like I told the mother. Answer the question and stop. Don't go into no litany of information that is irrelevant to the question that Mr. Glass asked you. You need to answer questions just if you were sitting on the witness stand here in the courtroom, sir. And don't add on the Mr. Glass goes into those areas. All right. Thank you.
So you'd be okay with set times of kids, right?
Yes, sir.
And what about communications? You think we could do something where if the judge ordered y'all to use a communications app, something like let me back up there. I know earlier you were on a landline telephone. Do you have access to a smartphone now?
Yes, sir, but it died. I'm on no, I wasn't on a landline. I'm on a smartphone now, but it died on me.
Okay.
The one I was using.
If the judge ordered you to use something like App Close, it's a parenting app where you message Ms. Sims through that, and it's just basically it takes out the phone calls and things like that. Would you be okay with that?
No, I would not.
Why not?
Because I might not sponsor. I still need.
Other than
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So
go
other than times of visitation, what responses would you be looking for other than, hey, when do I pick the kids up, when I'm running late, that kind of thing?
It might be a time where it not be the same response for me. Like, I'm very communicative, you know what I mean? And it's times where that numerous time where I can sit around and wait for hours, you know what I mean? Don't mean it's gonna be applied pressure next time we come to court. So no, I don't agree with that.
Okay. I don't believe Mr. Diamond asked you, but we brought it up when we were talking before about the DNA test. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you wanted to make sure that there had been a DNA test done. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Pass the witness.
I don't. Oh man.
Mr. Diamond, anything else on redirect, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, and I should have Ms. Sims as well. Mr. Bullard, I'm guessing that, and I should have asked Ms. Sims about this earlier. I imagine that she's going to request that what's called non-disclosure, that her address not be published in the court order. Well, I don't know if she's going to request it. I think she's going to raise some facts, and I'm going to request it. Do you have any objection to the court not disclosing her address in the order?
Yes, I do. I don't even have the DNA test results for the second child.
Okay. If you want to stick around afterwards, I can. If you can that smartphone, I can show them to you. There was a hearing. There's a missed, and that was. I'll listen to you, sir.
I was stating that I thought you said over the break that the judge was going to read the results out.
Yeah, I was.
The test.
Right, I was wrong. We had a hearing. No, I'm talking. We had a hearing several months ago. You didn't show up for. It was offered in the evidence at that point in time. What I'm saying is, after this hearing, if you want to stick around a minute, get back on the smartphone. I'll show you the DNA results.
Okay. Well, can they be read to me right here? Because I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The thing that I was using, is not actually charging.
Okay, Your Honor, may I reoffer the DNA that the court already admitted into evidence a hearing ago? So, Your Honor, I reoffer states one. I can share my screen.
Well, it's already in evidence, so you don't have to reoffer. You just can tell him what was in evidence and what he said.
I'm asking that the record reflect the DNA test for Desiree Sims that confirms paternity beyond 99%. May the record reflect that, Your Honor?
All right, the record may reflect the court has that already in evidence, and it shows that Desiree Sims could not be excluded as a biological child of Brandon Bullard. Probability of paternity is 99.999999995 with a combined paternity index of 243 billion to 1. So that's more than 235 billion more people than are already on the planet Earth. So yeah, she's his biological father. He's the biological father based on a DNA test. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Bullard, let's go back to the non-disclosure. I imagine that Ms. Sims is going to raise a bunch of safety issues, allegations of violent acts committed by you against her boyfriend, things of that nature. The court may want to caution you before you answer, but what would you say to those allegations, or do you listen to them first before I ask you?
I want to listen to him.
I tell you what, Mr. Diamond, let's not speculate. Go ahead and recall the mother and see if she wants non-disclosure and why she wants non-disclosure. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Recall Ms. Sims.
All right, in just a moment, sir. Ms. Sims, you're still on oath. You may proceed.
And I'm sorry, I didn't ask you about this earlier. You have safety concerns with Mr. Bullard?
I do.
The answer is I do. The state will elaborate.
And I think you probably did this before, but I'll ask you to do so again. Has Mr. Bullard ever been violent towards you?
Yes.
About how many times has he been violent towards you?
It's been quite a few times. I got a lot of police reports, so I can't really give you a number.
Well, let me ask this. We talking one hand's worth? We talking two hands worth? Do I need both of my feet? What are we talking here?
I'll say one hand and probably two fingers on the other hand.
Okay. And you said the police have been called on several of these occasions?
Yes.
All right. Do you know, was there ever a prosecution that resulted?
Not yet. I don't believe so.
All right. So he has charges pending for one of these things. Is that correct? Okay. What did he do that has the charges pending?
At the end of 2022, we had a situation where he came to my house and I asked him to leave. He was at the door. He refused to leave, and then he pushed his way inside the door, and we went to, it was an altercation. And our first child was there, and I called the police. By the time I was able to get to the phone, I called the police.
Okay. Was that the worst thing he's done?
That was the worst altercation we've had, yes. Mostly the other things are just even recently him texting me, telling me he's going to kill me. He's busted my windows. And it's just it's a number of things he's done, but I don't know if I can say all of that right now. So
all right, ma'am. What I do need to know is you said there's a criminal charge pending already?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll see if that Adam can verify that one way or the other. So you may proceed, Mr. Diamond. Thank you.
Thank you. Approximately how many did you observe him, or did he admit to breaking windows?
The One time that he actually admitted to was my rear window. He actually paid for it to be fixed. And then the second time, he broke my window the second time. I knew he was outside of my house, but I didn't see him do it. So I can't say he did it, but I know he did it.
Okay, but if you didn't see him and he didn't admit it, we have to move on from that. So what else? What else did he admit? Did you see him do?
He admitted to shooting my door, my truck door, and then he shot the window out of it as well.
Okay,
sir, you're not the witness right now. Just like I told her a moment ago, you're not the witness. She is allowed to testify. You'll be recalled in a moment. Thank you.
Okay, and when did this take place where he shot your car?
This was I want to say about 2 or 3 months, maybe 2 months ago.
Okay, and when did he admit to doing that?
It was like within the same week, just in conversation.
Okay. I tell you what, I know there's a lot more. I'm going to move on because I think we probably have enough. So I'll pass a witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Adlightem, have you verified whether or not there are any criminal charges pending against the father?
Yes, Your Honor, there are several. There is a felony DWI. There is a interference with emergency call. Also, we have assault bodily injury. I believe mom is the victim on that.
All right, these are charges that pending but there's no convictions on these yet. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, here's Mr. Bullard. We're not going to go into detail on these items. You have more than likely you have a lawyer representing you on these criminal charges. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, can you speak up a little bit? I couldn't hear you.
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, then. So right now you have not been convicted of these items, but they are out there. And so since there hasn't been a trial or you hadn't been before the court on these, we're not going to go into these. I'm going to invoke your Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. So I don't want you saying anything about any of these charges without your lawyer being present, and that lawyer is not present. And I wouldn't allow you to testify about it either, because again, anything you say here could be used by the courts that are going to be hearing those cases against you. So there are allegations at this point, but they're serious allegations. And so, but I don't want you to come at this time, because again, that actually could be used by that prosecutor in that case against you, and could definitely lead to your conviction in those matters. So we're going to stay away from those for this point right now. Anyway, I'll go ahead and let the state recall Mr. Bullard, but again, we're not going to go into the family violence. I'm going to hold that in advance, and does the state ever wish to ask the father, Mr. Bullard, at this time? Thank you.
No, Your Honor, is subject to the court's caution. I would wait until he's represented by.
I got questions I want to ask you.
You want to ask who?
Mr. Diamond and Mr. Other guy.
What's your question, sir?
My question is, why is not the stuff that I admitted to y'all that I told Mr. Kurt is not in the courtroom today? Like far as the stuff that goes on with her doing stuff to me, her.
Okay, wait a second, sir. Okay. I'll ask Ms. Sims, do you have any current pending against you?
No, sir.
Okay. And any misdemeanor, felony, nothing, correct?
Nothing, no, sir.
All right, Bullard, what incidences are you referring to there? She doesn't have any criminal charges pending. What type of incidents are you talking about, sir?
I'm talking about her putting sugar in my gas tank, her scratching up my truck, her throwing eggs at my vehicle, her putting her hands on me, her being volatile, her being antagonized.
Mr. Bullard, okay, Mr. Bullard, here's the deal, sir. Have you pressed there are criminal charges pending, or any criminal convictions against Ms. Sims about anything you just said, sir?
Yes, sir. I filed charges against her. I don't know why the police ain't pick it up. Just like the same reason they ain't pick up stuff that she said I done. All
right then. Well, sir, no charges pending and no convictions, sir. It is what it is. All right, sir. Any other question, Bullard, at this time, Mr. Diamond?
I wasn't aware of these, Your Honor. So I would actually, if the court would allow it, I'd like to ask him in more detail about some of these events that he's alleging, because I do want to be fair and handle this.
All right, you may proceed.
All right. So, Mr. Bullard, how many times has she been violent to you?
Numerous times. She done
Okay.
hit me in.
Okay, sir,
I'm-
sir. Here, Mr. Bullock, slow down.
Got
Sir.
you, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry,
He's
sorry, I got
gonna ask you, he's gonna ask you the individual questions, answer the individual
Okay.
question, and then stop. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Mr.
So can you give me a number? 5 times, 10 times, 25 times, 100 times? How many? Okay.
More
What
than
was
10, sir.
more than 10?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When was the, what was you
Worst thing she ever did to me was
physically? I
beat
mean,
me
like,
up, not physically. Like she beat me up in the bathroom upstairs. I was upstairs. I was on the phone. She busted in the bathroom, started punching on me. Her daughter was downstairs from the bottom stairs screaming, "Mommy." I didn't put my hands on her. I didn't hit her, none of that nature. I had to stop and wait on her. I pinned her down. Yes, I did that.
okay.
left.
And when did this happen?
In July 2019.
Okay. When was the last time she was physically violent with you?
Last time she was physically violent with me was when I was picking my daughter up, because she told me to pick my daughter up because she got
Okay,
mad.
sir, here's the deal. The question was when,
Give a date.
not
Give a
the
date.
details yet. We'll get to the details. What
Give a
date
date.
are we talking about?
I don't know the date or the month, but it was last year, 2023.
Okay. So just based on everything that she's saying and based on your saying, my request to the court is going to be that both of your addresses are not disclosed. You're welcome to agree or disagree with that, but that's going to be my request to the court. So do you agree or disagree with that?
Agree.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Glass, anything on redirect to either party? I mean, recross to either party.
Yes, Your Honor, I probably need to ask a question. Mr. Bullard, Ms. Sims,
Yes,
please,
sir.
please listen to this question, okay?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the two of you co-parent?
Here's the deal, Mr. Glass. I don't think that's an appropriate question at this time because of the pending charges. Anything I deal with, I've got Mr. Bullard has some pending charges. I'm not sure if he's out on bail or bond, but there obviously he probably is, and there are going to be some restrictions based on that. That probably will allow these folks to mutually confer with each other. In fact, there's probably a chance under the bond he's not allowed to even talk to her or contact her. So this is going to be a little problematic, and you probably need to ask about that because that's going to control in this matter, and whether or not he's actually got any trial dates pending on this. Because right now I'm not even sure I can make this a final order. So thank you.
Judge, if I can just, I'll just reserve till this. I'll just reserve for final.
Well, I'm trying to make it, Mr. Diamond, are you asking this to be a final today or temporary?
Sorry, Your Honor, I was attempting to multitask, obviously not very successful with it. I would defer to Mr. Glass. So I would love a final order if that's appropriate, but if Mr. Glass says it's not, then I respect that.
Mr. Bullard, do you have any, are you out on any type of bond at this time concerning any of the matters involving Ms. Sims?
Yes, sir. And she bonded me out.
All right,
Bond
and there, I tell you what, I would before I could even make this a final, I would need to see those the bond documents and everything else. So yeah. So, all right, folks. Again, I was trying to make this a final, but look like we're gonna have to do this as a temp, and the court would need. And sir, right now, do you have any trial dates set on any of these items? It sounds like you have some with Ms. Sims, and there might be some other matters you got pending against other. You have any trial dates set on anything at this time, sir?
Yes, sir. I set for trial on August 13th, I believe. Hold on, let me check my calendar. And as far as the misdemeanors goes, they can't proceed, like, without the felonies out the way.
And the felony is set for when?
August 26th.
Okay, August 26th. Okay. All right, folks. I'm looking at how to make this attempt. I'm looking at right now. Again, we're in between a rock and a hard place. What kind of visitation has the father had with the children in this matter over the last 6 months, if any?
The last visitation was last week. I believe
It wasn't no time.
It was it was about a week or two ago. He had got them for just a day.
2 weeks ago.
Okay, sir. Okay. All right, 2 weeks ago. Okay. And where was pickup and drop off? And you say it was for the day or overnight, or what was? I mean, this is Miss Sam. Is it overnight or is it day?
It was overnight. I met him at a hotel. Is where I dropped him off.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Just a second, sir. All right then. And all right, sir. Okay. When's the last time your recollection that you had visitation with the children, and what was it?
I had recollection. I mean, not really sorry about that. I had seen it 2 weeks before. 2 weeks before the day, and before that, it was 2-3 months. And before that, like I said, and I tried to say this to you before, you know what I mean? Like, the temporary order that was in effect with the first child, you know what I mean, is null and void because it's never been abided by. And as far as like,
Mr. Bullard, you stop. Again, sir, you can't make that. It's not null and void. The order of the court is the order of the court, period. If you need to enforce the order, you can enforce it. The mother can enforce it, but the order is not null and void. Get that out of your mind, number one. The order is the order of the court until it says it's no longer the order of the court. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can I get it enforced then, sir? Can I get
I'm sorry?
Can I get rights enforced? I would
I'm sorry,
step up
I
and
couldn't
be a
understand you,
parent.
sir. What was that? Please repeat that.
I said, sir, I will step up and parent, and I will step up and be the father of my kids now that I know that my daughter is mine, actually through the courts and not just per se of what she says. You know what I mean? I would do what I'm supposed to do as a father.
Okay, sir. You're making statements this time, sir. What we're looking at doing is coming up with a further temporary order until you take care of the felony and the misdemeanor matters that are still pending against you, sir. You've got to take care of them before I can even figure out what I can do on this one. Who's your attorney on the felony, sir?
I got Gregory Sims.
Okay. All right, got Mr. Simmons. Okay, got it. All right. All right, here's the deal, folks. Based on in those prior temporary orders, they joined us, or he sold.
Say it again.
I'm checking that right now, Your Honor.
I'm trying to find it now too. Okay.
So I don't know that we even did a custodianship for the younger child. On the child, Your Honor, it was joint managing conservatorship on the older child, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Glass, I know he's got several matters pending. Have you been able to find any prior convictions of Mr. Bullard or Ms. Sims on anything?
I found them on Mr. Bullard, Your Honor.
And what were any of the convictions involving family violence?
Just let me pull up my screen here, Judge. Oh, let's see. 2020, we have an interference with an emergency phone call.
Was that a conviction or just a charge?
That was, again, that ended up in a conviction. And then, Your Honor, there's a felony from 2016, bail jumping and failure to appear.
Okay. That was before the child. That was way before the child was born, so I don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Based on the 2020, though, I do have to worry about. So I'm looking at naming. I got to name mom temporary sole managing conservator, dad temporary possessory. I'm looking at ordering to support temporary child support going forward. We'll hold off on the retros until the final hearing. But again, I'm looking at doing that temporary order and the visitation and access. What is the ad litem recommending? Are we any overnights, or are we just going to do daily? I mean, all day or something along those lines. And I'm looking at exchanges at and I not in a hotel room, but probably at a police department until Mr. Bullard rids himself of the criminal charges pending against him, both felony and misdemeanor. So
yes, Judge, I'd say probably no overnights.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bullard, do you have a permanent resident this time, sir?
Say that again.
You have a permanent resident, sir?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. All right, then. What city do you live in, sir?
Me.
Okay. All right, sir. And who are you staying with right now today?
Right now, today, I'm standing in the street.
All right, Mr. Bullard, is there any chance that you're going to have a residence in the next before the trial starts in August, sir?
No, I'm not.
All right, Mr. Bullard, I've already gone and found your father, but sir, I don't. It's not the norm for someone to get visitation that doesn't have any place to take the child to that they can call their own.
It's like me, sir, that y'all want to take my visitation.
I'm sorry?
It seems like to me my visitation was already took when I had the kids. I was limited already. This is the part where I don't find understanding. I was limited already before.
Mr. Bullard, Mr. Bullard, stop. No, don't raise your voice, sir. I was asking you a serious question. You told me you don't have a place to live, so I'm asking you. And again, courts don't give parties visitation with kids when they don't have somewhere to live. So don't talk about the past. I'm talking about right now going forward, sir.
Sir, can I ask you something right now?
No, sir. I'm the judge. You don't get to ask. Do you have a legal question? You have a question you want to ask me about the circumstances, sir? What's your question? Okay, if you have that, you can ask me the question, sir. But again, it's got to be something that the court can answer you on. What's your question, sir?
I really just shut me down before I even could ask the question.
What's your question, sir? I'm giving you the chance. What's the question?
I'm trying to do the right thing, man, as far as being by my kids in their life. You know what I mean? My question is to this right here. Why am I being so restricted? Why am I haven't had access to my kids since they've been born, really. I've been buying and man.
Mr. Bullard, you do realize you do have criminal charges pending, correct, sir?
Let's talk about it. Correct 3 years ago. This is
Right.
3 years pending, sir.
You have a criminal conviction for family violence, sir. I'm supposed to take that into.
I don't have no criminal conviction for family violence. I have never been no violent person to catch no violent crime.
But I'm not going to argue with you.
This is my first time catching an assault charge, bodily injury.
Okay, Mr. Glass just said that you've been you interfered with an emergency call, sir.
He said I interfered with a man. This girl
Mr.
put her hands on me.
That is family violence under Texas law, sir. I know you may not know that, but it is. That's a family violence conviction, sir.
All the court is doing is ensuring that the father's not going to be present in the kid's life. That's it.
All right, Mr. Bullard, we're through. All right, Mom Soul MC. We'll reset after we find out what happens to Mr. Bullard in his criminal matters and find out whether or not he actually has a residence that he could actually have visitation at. So until there's a further
you can go ahead and do it the final hearing if you want to, sir. Because it seems like to me you're trying to invoke it anyway.
Mr. Bullard, I'm trying to figure out find that information and let me know where I can figure out what I need to do as far as setting something up with you and your children going forward. And that's it. Right now, I'm based on the facts right here today. You got charges that you got to deal with next month, and you don't have a place to live that you can actually take your children. Correct? Did I misunderstand something, Mr. Bullard?
You misunderstand the whole lot.
All right, Mr. Bullard, we're through. Thank you. Anyway, Soul MC, and right now we'll go ahead and set up the child support going forward as requested by the state. Hold everything else in the bench, including visitation, until further order of the court. Do a reset, and after Mr. Bullard's matters before the criminal court, and I'll look at does Mr. Glass, do you have a date when you're coming back in early September? Already set?
I think I'm in your court quite a bit. I'm fine with probably the end of September. Be fine, Judge.
I'm looking for dates right now, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
And Your Honor, may I also ask, is the court granting the non-disclosures to both parties?
Oh yeah, neither party has to keep each other informed of where they are, their addresses and phone numbers. I will order app close going forward, and the mother is to set that up.
I don't want to go through that. I don't want to do none of that. I'm not complying with nothing y'all got going on, just based off the fact of what y'all had what you just told me. I don't matter.
Most judges would have poured you out a long time ago, sir. You ought to be thankful he's trying to be as fair as he is.
All right, Mr. Bullard, and what's the reset date, Mr. Diamond?
Your Honor, may we have September the 24th, please, Your Honor?
All right, so granted, and we're off the record until then.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Your Honor, I apologize for speaking out of turn just now.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's difficult circumstances, sir. Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He has a Rolls-Royce Wraith. He has a 4-door Porsche. He has a Maserati. He has a 1960 old school car, Cutlass, both with $5,000 to $10,000 worth of paint on them and rims. And he has at least $50,000 to $100,000 worth of jewelry. And he only pays $200 in child support.